Right, Shalom, giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach rule well, taught us this truth, and Shalom to the elect, the 144,000 first and foremost, that should be pushing this truth in all sincerity in the four quarters of the earth. And Lord willing, we be at that number. I'm your brother Tabal Yakona coming at you with another video, Lord willing, it's edifying. Just continuing on in Revelation, the 12th chapter. We're going to do 7th and 8th verse. All right. Also, in the 6th verse before that, I'll just read it. It says, and the woman fled into the wilderness. Again, that woman is Israel. The wilderness is Africa. This is after 70, this is the time of 70 AD when the Romans came in to persecute. All right, and it says, where she hath a place prepared of God, or the Most High. It says, so that place prepared is America. It says that they should feed her there 1,203 days. That's 350 years, roughly, spanning from roughly 1619 to 1969, the time when the truth came out into basically when Jake got the truth in the Americas. And really when the truth hit the scene, man, of the world. You know, the books were open. So, you know, by way of Albert Bivens, whom we mostly give the credit to, you know, being the forerunner of that you know, bringing in the truth. So when it says, and it says that they should feed her 1,000, when it says that they should feed her 1,203 days, that's talking about the provisions that we got here in America, even though we were in slavery and chattel slavery at that, which is a very violent and degrading form of slavery. You know, slavery is very common and has always been a part of our culture. Being Hebrew Israelites, we've even had our own people enslaved, but our form of slavery was different. It was more like a servitude, and then after 7 years, you were out of that servitude. You basically worked off your debt, and you were set free. So, let's see, if you wanted to leave. But anyways, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. Again, that's going into, you know, the certain government programs that Esau had for us, the Israelites. Again, we're here to serve a punishment first and foremost. You know, being disobedient to our power, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And you know, and he manifested that by way of using his sword, which his sword is Esau Edom, so-called white man. And so we were in servitude, in slavery to the so-called white man. And anybody with a half a brain wants to keep their slaves in decent shape. So, we were fed here. Again, by way of those government programs, you know, WIC, welfare, hell, even just the system itself feeds Jake. You know, a lot of people in the world want to be here in America, man. You know, this is a great and dainty and you know, this whore that rides the beast back, America, Babylon the Great, beast being NATO and the EU. is she's got all kinds of, extras, for lack of a better word, man. And a lot of people want to be here and ride the ride, which is Babylon the Great, man. But anyways, so moving on to Revelation 12 and 7. Salaki for the hold up, but I had to go ahead and make that clear. It says, and there was war in heaven. All right. And yeah, so when you go into the word war, is basically fight, right? It's just a fight. It's G4171, polemos. It's warfare, a battle, fight, war, right? In heaven, that's actually talking about in the skies, or the Shemayim, all right, which is like heavenly waters, because the heavens are actually made of water, like a water in a gaseous state. Okay, G3772, the word for heaven there is Oranos, and it's the sky. All right. It also goes into other things like, by implication, happiness, power, eternity. It says air, heavenly sky. Okay. So there's going to be an actual war, an actual battle, a fight in the skies. I mean, think about that. So let's go to Isaiah 66 and verse 15. Right. It says, for behold, the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, because the Lord, he's not going to come down here by, the actual Heavenly Father, the Most High, is not going to, this is his movie. He's just pulling the strings. He's not coming down here to do a damn thing. He's going to use Yahweh Shai, the angels, and Michael, the archangel, and of course the heathen, to stir up the war and destruction. All right, so it says Isaiah 66 and 15, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots. The chariots are the Marakab, or the chariots of the Lord, chariots of Israel, things that they call UFOs and UAPs, unidentified flying objects, unidentified, aerial phenomenon, but they're actually the heavenly vehicles of the Lord, manned by the angels of the Lord. All right, it says like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Yeah, so the Lord's angry, pissed off at what the nations did to his people. He touched the apple of the Lord's eye, as the scriptures say. All right, it says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, right? That word there, plead, is shapat, and it means execute judgment. Okay, so he's going to plead with all flesh, all right? And that's really talking about the heathen, but also, a lot of our people going to be over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Remember, Shaphat meaning judgment. All right, so that Levant region is going to be designated for war. It's going to get so hot over there in the land of Israel, and really like Saudi Arabia, the Levant region. And he's going to gather all the kings there, and he's going to judge them. And kings meaning all the governments. It's going to be a big, great war over there. Great world war. It's World War III. All right, it says, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right. Right. It's going to be a lot of killing, man. You know, a lot of people, a lot of Jake, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans going to get drafted, going to sign up to go over there that are already in, you know, the military over there in World War III. All right. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 16. And if you don't believe it, you know, this is what you read when you kind of like you're reading it and you kind of reading the scriptures and you kind of, you know, lollygagging and dozing off a little bit. It says, seek ye out of the Lord. Salakia, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. You see, it says no one of these shall, these what? It's talking about prophecies. So no one of these prophecies is going to fail. All right. None shall want her mate. It's talking about there's no book like the scriptures. Nothing compares to the, and not just reading the scriptures, but the, you know, you got to have the correct doctrine, which is coming out of the camp of Great Millstone. It says, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. Right. So the Lord using the prophets to push prophecy out on the highways and byways, you know, and through his spirit, man, you know, gathering as we speak, you know, these prophecies are coming to life. You know, what we see, we're reporting on. It's kind of like it's a symbiosis. It's like as we speak, it comes to life, and as we see it, we speak on it. So it's like you know, it's just the Lord, just, you know, he's coming. All right, things are about to change. All right, Salaki. Excuse me. So all right, back to Revelation 12. Revelation 12 and verse 7. All right, let's go to this is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. That's talking about the time of Jacob's trouble. It's going to get so bad to where Michael, the archangel, going to come down here, and he's going to help to fight, you know. And Yahweh Shai is going to be fighting as well. It says, reading on back to Revelation 12 and 7, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Again, the dragon is Esau, starting with his elites. All right, and this is really speaking specifically about, you know, the world, you know, Esau. I'll just read it. It says, and the dragon fought and his angels. So the dragon, Esau, and, you know, NATO and the EU, they're going to get together with their allies, and they're going to fight the Lord and his angels in the heavens, you know. So Esau's allied force is going to be up there actually in the heavens trying to fight the chariots of the Lord. Verse 8, and prevail not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven, right? They're not going to win. They're going to be totally wiped out. If you read 2nd Ezra 13 and 8, you can read on that. So Lord willing, I was edifying, giving all glory, honor, praise Yahweh, Shem, Shalom.